I'll never forget, J Kidd told me, and I think this was regular season first, teams who fronted in the post. He said, just let him front. Stay there. I'm going to throw it off the backboard.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
easy work.
Genius.
Yeah.
That is genius. Because he's already in front of you, so he can't get
there's
to that.
nobody back there.
And he's like, I'm just going to throw it high. It's going to come off soft. You just catching the dunk. And I was like, bruh.
I was so jealous of you when you played with him.
It's unbelievable. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cousins. It's VC here. Got T-Mac here, man. Hey, tell the people what we got going on.
We want y'all to be a part of the fam. Come join us at some point in your life. But what you got to do is go subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on social at Vincent T. Mac. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, FanDuel. What? The official sports book partner of the NBA. Cuzzo, another episode. What we got, my man?
Let's take a trip down memory lane again. So a little open mic.
I love these memory lanes, going down memory lanes, man. Because without the memories, what do we have? You gotta create these memories, dog. Gotta create these memories, man. And we did that in our career. So talk about one.
I'm going to take you to one, December 19th, 1999. You were actually there playing against the Lakers at home. The play that I'm talking about was probably 10, 11 seconds left. Dell
Curry.
Yes, Dell Curry. I don't know who drew this play up. But at the end of the day, it is genius because we were, like I said, we were down 6. I think it was 94-88. And we needed to score quickly in trying to save as much time so we can foul, try to get the ball back. And it was I want to say it was Keon Clark, runs to the ball.
No.
Mind you, that was you?
It wasn't Keon. Keon wasn't on our team when I was on there.
All right, so that might have been you then.
I don't know.
A player.
I remember that.
So Dell is taking the ball out close, damn near half court.
Yeah.
And whoever the player is running towards the ball to take that defender who's sitting at the three-point line, Muggsy and Antonio would depend down, and I'm looping around.
Mm-hmm.
So the play is Dell is going to throw the ball.
Who's guarding you, Kobe?
Kobe.
Okay.
So the double screening, coming off the loop, the ball's supposed to hit the backboard.
And you catch it.
And finish it or dunk it. And seeing it, talking about it was crazy. Draw it up. All right, makes sense. But now, me overthinking stuff, I started thinking like, okay, I just got to make sure the timing is right as far as how hot is it coming off the backboard. And first of all, is he gonna be able to hit the backboard where it comes off?
Distance,
like you don't know.
You
like
don't
we never
if it's gonna
practiced
hit
that.
the rim. Like everything has to be perfect.
Does he throw the ball because of adrenaline? Does he throw it over the goal? But depend down. I come out of it. I loop around. It was a wide loop, and it hits the backboard, and I just 1-2 take off. And obviously, when I watch it now, I'm like, all right. If I'd have waited a half a second or just taken another step, I could have controlled it, but I didn't know where the ball was coming, so I just tried to jump, catch the ball, and still tried to finish it. And it hit the rim. And it's funny watching everybody else, Kobe, like, when they see the ball, he doesn't know where it's going because
where the ball
you just see a ball like who's thinking about that?
He actually turned around the other way,
like trying to get the ball off the rim to start to break. So that was one of the ones because this is off the strength of missing the Carolina Duck, but this was another one that the mentality. Just I was willing to try it.
That would have been crazy if you would have pulled that off. Down 6. I don't know how many seconds.
It was like 11 seconds. It was like almost like 11 seconds.
However, I still think you could have converted it. Not so much the dunk of what you tried. Had you caught it with 2 hands and laid it up, you were going for the home run. And that home run would probably, if you would have converted that, we would have had to put that in your top 3 of greatest dunks. Because in the totality of Dale taking it out half court, number one, Butch with the genius mind of drawing it up and throwing it off the backboard. Who thinks of that?
Especially
You're
that
at
time.
half court into, Dale played baseball. So he played baseball. That's why he took the ball out. It was a perfect pass.
It's perfect.
It was a perfect pass from half court, one hand pass off the backboard with you curling around, actually catching the ball with one hand and going up and missing that dunk.
It's just the timing. It was more so a timing thing. A half a beat later, I catch some of the. I mean, it was coming off the backboard hot. If a half a second later I catch it, I'm able to control it and probably finish that dunk, like you said.
I think Gerald Green is probably the only cat that I can have a conversation with you about missed dunks. He's probably the only one. But y'all, man, you got the craziest missed dunks, bro. That would have been
I don't like missing
legendary dunks.
I don't like missing dunks.
Oh, man. No, that was a good one.
And then I'll give you another one from you real quick. We play in Cleveland. I think you remember. There's a lot of great moments, particularly when we played together. Any dunks or transition plays came from you. Because I could think of a couple of them. You gave me one in Dallas when I did the 360.
Yeah.
And here's another one was 360, but this was at home against Cleveland.
Yep.
You threw it out there, and I did the reverse dunk, and you laugh about it, but some Florida boom. That was like that's what I had in my mind. Shout out to Trick Daddy. Shout out to Trick Daddy Dollars, but I had that in mind. So it's been some great moments, but that was one of the. I want to say that was one of the first times doing the reverse 360 in the game.
Yeah, the wrong way.
I know a couple of times. I know I did one in Chicago. I'm not sure if you're there, but I know for sure Dallas and this was one of the ones. But yeah, I just remember turning, and when I got up there, especially doing it with one hand, it sounds crazy. Doing it with one hand, I get up higher than I would do with two hands.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that was more memorable of a dunk.
Yeah, no,
you remember that?
I remember that dunk.
And I caught it right off the bounce.
Why I'm the guy that's always passing it, because I remember Butch telling me, young fella, I need you to go get the rebound and push the ball up the floor.
Right.
You go get the rebound and push the ball up the floor. Man. And once I started doing that and feeding you and see what you were doing in transition, I wanted to get the ball every single time.
I started to know, right? Time to go.
We going. Let's go. Let's get on this track meet. But I got the ball because I know the minute I see it open and I see this cat coming on the wing, that ball's going to him, whether it's going at a direct pass, line drive, or I'm throwing a lob, because I know it's about to be a show. Like, you about to do something crazy.
Especially if you were already ahead of us. I was trying to get down there. So a couple of times I was running faster than I needed to be. But I was like, oh, no, wait a second. Give me one more second. You already knew.
For sure. And I know where you was going to be at all times, and that ball was going to come
and
to
that
you.
That was the two times, that Cleveland one, and then obviously that Dallas one, which was crazy. Especially going back watching the bench of the opposing team.
Of what Dallas, when he did that 360.
Yeah. Sean Rooks, I think it was one of them.
It was Sean Rooks sitting over there in the corner. Shout out to my old teammate.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to Sean Rooks.
All right, you got one?
Yeah, so my open mic, going back in the archives, I'm going to give a shout out to one of my team, man, with the Rockets when we was on our 22-game win streak. That was a fun time, man. Just a great group of guys. And it's like, we didn't have the best talent, but what we did have, we got the best out of that talent. So we had a bunch of young guys, Carl Landry, Scola. He wasn't young, but he was young in the NBA. Aaron Brooks, Chuck Hayes. Like, we had a bunch of young guys that were blue collar and just really, they did their job. So we on this 22-game win streak, and we playing the Sacramento Kings, is Ron Artest and the boys. And I was struggling that game. It's just one of those games where, it's run going up against him, and I was struggling offensively. And I know if I put Steve Novak up against anybody in shooting, I like my chances with Steve Novak. At the time, this is before Steph Curry and seeing how great of a shooter he is, but Steve Novak at this time.
He was a specialist, by the way.
Yes, he is a specialist. I will put my money on him against anybody at this time of shooting that basketball. And I knew if I have him in the game, they know he's in the game for one reason. He's going to spread the floor. He's a floor spacer. Well, at times I advocate for him to get in the game because I need that floor spacing. I was struggling this game. We're down, and I wanted him in the game. It's I know I'm getting the ball, but how they've been playing me is the defense has just been collapsing all game, right? So I know this.
Who's guarding you?
Ron Artest is guarding me, right? Ron Artest is guarding me. You got Brad Miller. Like, they were this is Sacramento. They were good at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the ball. I'm ISO and run, but I'm reading the other guys because I know I want to go to Novak, to Steve Novak. I want to go to him. He's my guy. I'm keeping my eye and seeing what his defender does. So I have the ball, and I kind of lose my handle a little bit, but I drive to the basket, get in the paint a little bit. I see Novak out the corner of my eye, and I see his man collapse in on the right side. So I pull him in. Novak is wide open out there.
So you're saying basically your idea was even if you could have gone left, you were trying to go right to collapse the defense.
I'm trying
for an open
three. Absolutely. I'm going for the win. I want us to win the game.
Because the word gravity is a huge thing now, but you already knew you driving to the paint, regardless if you had a good game or not.
Yeah.
The defense has to.
Absolutely. I already knew the defense was going to collapse in, and they wasn't going to allow me to win the game if I would have forced something. But I'm not. At this time, I'm struggling. I know where this ball need to go because I trust him more than I trust me with three guys hanging on me, right? So
he hadn't played the whole game.
He hasn't played. He hasn't made a shot. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm just saying, like,
he hasn't played.
They called his number. Cold turkey.
Cold turkey. Hasn't taken a shot all game for 47 in what? Let's say 50 minutes. Of
47,
50 seconds. He comes in that game, bro. His first shot, game winner, send him home, walk off. And Steve is from Milwaukee. And this is the time, you got Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay at the time, and he got the discount double check thing. So that was Steve Novak's. That was his thing when he made shots. He do the discount double check.
That's right.
But he saved us on our 22-game win streak. I think that was like game number 8, and we ended up.
Oh, so that was earlier in the streak.
It was early.
Okay,
it was early, and then we ended up running off, and winning those 22 games. But yeah, man. So I wanted to give some love to my Rockets team and Steve Novak, who saved that 22-game win streak because it was part of history.
That's crazy. He that was the shooter specialist.
Yeah, to be sitting down all game, and your first shot,
and when you watch it, it wasn't. He shot that like he's been playing 25, 30 minutes.
That's why I wanted him in the game. I will always, to this day, that is the best shooter I played with. And it's funny, we just seen him the other day.
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering, like, is this story coming just because you saw him, or like this is this is a great story, and that's just, I think the moral of the story for young guys,
stay ready.
Stay ready.
Stay ready.
You never know when your number's called, and you take advantage of your moment, whether it's 10 seconds left, you play 10 minutes or whatever, because what that does for a star player is the trust factor.
Yep.
Like you said, you already knew, I need him.
Mm-hmm.
I know what he can do, and I know what he can do, and he hasn't played.
Yeah.
But I guarantee at halftime, he was getting shots up, mentally ready for the play.
Yeah,
kind of like what MJ with Steve Kerr.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's part of the leadership, and it's part of just really encouraging your teammates and putting that belief in that and having that trust, because you got to be wired differently to to sit on the bench for the last 10 seconds of a game. You haven't played, you haven't shot. You've been
That's
sitting
usually when people freeze up.
Bruh,
Especially
to
role
come
players.
off of that bench cold turkey and to have the confidence of shooting a game winner, like you got to be different, wired differently. And that's a testament to like you staying ready, staying in the gym, making sure you're ready at all times because you just don't never know when your number's going to get called. Like I said, I wanted him in the game. Coach ain't want him in the game. I wanted him in the game because I already know. I've talked to him. I see what he could do. I always tell him, bro, you the greatest shooter I've ever seen, bro. You the greatest shooter I ever played with. Like I'm telling him this in practice, just shaking my head when I see him shoot the ball. Like this is incredible watching this man shoot in practice, bro.
So.
Yes, man. I can shoot when I'm hot. I seen you shoot when him. I bet it's like watching Steph. Like when people watch, that's Novak. It was just unbelievable shooter. So I know what I have in him, and I always put my trust and my belief. And he came through for us and knocking that shot down.
Shout out to Steve Novak, man.
Yeah.
Steve, discount, double check. Novak, my bad. Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins.
That's right. Turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started.
And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up.
FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence.
It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/cousins to get started.
FanDuel, play your game.
21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 for first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat, Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org, Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY, New York. Call 1-877-770-7867, Louisiana.
We got the NBA playoffs approaching. And I'm super excited about this because
You super excited because of our work schedule or just the playoffs?
Just the work schedule is crazy, but no,
It's crazy.
But
We can work it.
For our first one, NBC. No, I'm looking forward to covering the games.
A lot of games.
The Eastern Conference now has really sparked my interest in knowing what's going to happen because of Charlotte. Them getting better. Atlanta, them getting better. Sixers. You don't know what to expect from them because of their health, but if they're healthy, they're a very dangerous team. And then you got Detroit, you got the Celtics. So we
got to give some love to the Raptors too.
The Raptors. We got Toronto. They're
just going to be that tough out that, like we've said before, you don't want to see them in the first round.
No,
having to deal with that.
They could win a first round series, and they also can lose in the first round. I think
Depending on matchups.
Depending on the matchups. I think for Toronto, it'll be a definitely a successful season if they win one. But I want to talk about first experience in the playoffs. We experienced the time in 1999, 2000. It was the Raptors' first playoff. It was our first playoffs. We were young pups, and we faced the New York Knicks. We did a number on the Knicks in the regular season. I mean, we just had our way with them. Whatever we wanted to do because we had Charles Oakley, we had Antonio Davis. Like, we had a well-balanced team. Well, the Young Bucks wasn't experienced to carry.
To know that it's another level come playoff time.
To know that, this is what they were saying about the playoffs. It's another level. It's a little bit more intense. It's a little bit more hitting, grabbing, and pulling.
That's why we had that training camp again for the playoffs.
That's why we went to Orlando and they was beating the crap out of us. That's why Butch held that. But let's talk about, Charlotte. They haven't made the playoffs in a very long time, and this new regime of players is going to be experiencing that for their first time. Also, the San Antonio Spurs. Wemby hasn't experienced the playoffs, and there's a lot of other guys that are on that team that play, pivotal minutes and have an impact on their success. They haven't played in the playoffs. So talk to us about their first year experience in the playoffs. How was that?
What? Against Van Gundy's Knicks?
Yeah, against them.
You talking about that?
Yeah.
So I remember end of the season, in position, we see we have the Knicks. All right, cool.
We feel good about it.
Yeah, this is a team that we've had success for. So, hey, we can get, not only can we, not only are we here, we got a team that we've had our way with. And I just remember that first half of basketball, more so than the first quarter. Nervous the first quarter. I mean, finally here in the playoffs, it's so much hoopla behind what we accomplished. A historic season because of the playoffs and all that. So obviously you want to play well. And that first half, and I remember sitting at halftime like, man, what is going on? They ain't do this. All of a sudden, more physical. I remember different
defensive strategy on you.
Double team, and then sometimes a triple team. And I remember specifically Butch saying, we're going to put you at the point guard, run the offense to see if they double. And Van Gundy would double that way. And I was just like, and some of the post-ups, like back when guards posted up, you turn around, you see in triple teams. Now, there was a lot of other things that played into that series. So they were motivated for a lot of reasons. And they had more experience than us, and they were like, nah, y'all running around thinking it's sweet. It ain't sweet. And I tell you what, it was like, you talking about, basketball is basketball, but that was tough.
So I'm glad you said that about the double teams, because it gives you a glimpse into, you got a star player here, and then you got your secondary scorer, which, I was second, third, whatever, however you want to put it, Doug Christie, myself. But it just goes to show, when the primary scorer is double team or triple team, second and third primary scores, secondary scores, listen, it's one-on-one. That's what opened up for me. That's why I had such a phenomenal series. Right?
I took a bashing in the media because
that's
of it.
why I had such a phenomenal series. And that's what people don't understand. Like, when your main guys receiving that type of attention, especially when you got a defensive-minded coach like Jeff Van Gundy, that's who he is. He's mainly going to take your primary score
and see we lose to someone else.
Yes, he's going to make you use, other options, unless you just that superior and you hitting your shots over two people, you forcing things like, hey, tip your hat off to you. But that playing that way and then leaving it open for the secondary score, bruh, that's.
Because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you what I learned from that, and I hope the guys who are going through this, like a Wemby, like LaMelo Ball, Concanipple, Castle, these guys understand. I learned that series about being patient in basketball, because basketball is easy. In that time, you can do what you do. When you dominate, you're dominating, and then you learn what the playoffs is like. When you play a team 4 to 7 times, they now have film. They now make adjustments. I learned patience, and I learned how to trust. And not that I did not trust others, but when you have a guy that you can beat, they try to speed you up, and then now you start to force shots. And I learned, particularly game 3 and 4, to now, hey, you've done your job, which sometimes as the go-to guy, you don't want to hear, but at the same time, you've done your job by drawing to and getting off the ball, allowing somebody else to have their moment. And, I talk about it now all the time because of that experience. Guys or stars learning how to get off the ball and get other guys involved early sets you up for success later in the game. And I learned that, and I wasn't able to do it to where we can get a win or win a series. But guess what? I was prepared for that the following season because of it. Now I know what to expect. I know what the playoffs is like. I learned what preseason is like. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, I'm killing. Then you learn the difference between preseason and playoffs. Regular season. You learn the difference between regular season
and playoffs.
And the second part of the season after All-Star.
That's true.
Which leads into what playoffs is somewhat going to be like till you get there.
Yep. No, man, you hit it on the head right there because that second half of the season coming out of All-Star break, if you're a playoff team making that push, now you're playing for seeding and you're grinding it out every single night, taking those nights off because, you want to get home court advantage. And you know how it is in the NBA. When you get home court advantage, most of the teams advance.
And some of the teams are playing for survival, and some teams are playing to avoid some people to see them. Like that's a real thing. That's not the secret. It's an unwritten rule, and it's not the thing. But like sometimes you're trying to get the best opportunity or advantage you can to make it far in the playoffs and win. So hey, I want to see this team. I feel like we match up better with them in the first round to deal with a juggernaut defensively or offensively, whatever. In the second round, we just want to advance, survive and advance. That's what it's like, just like the tournament, survive and advance. So we felt very good about seeing the Knicks because of our success. Little did we know.
We had it was the unknown. I mean, we didn't have any playoff experience, but we felt good about how we matched up against them in the regular season. But it was just a different ball game, the physicality of it, and just the different strategies on how they played against you and the things they did. And, I think the experience, because you got to think, they actually played in the finals that year. Let's not leave that out. They played in the NBA finals that year against
Spurs.
San Antonio. So we played a damn good team, man, for that to be our first one. And I think, that gave us the experience. It gave us a blueprint on how to approach the playoffs next year because
Absolutely.
you almost went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You had a Game 7 where you shot the final year. I ended up in the playoffs the next year averaging like 34 points against Milwaukee. Obviously we lost, but just having that experience from that first one, kind of understood what to expect. Now I was in a different role. I was in your role. I was in your role, right? Having to maneuver through seeing a different type of defense, which, it's
everything's predicated on stopping you.
Yeah. Man, that, like, so much of, the strategy and, how you want to play versus how they defended you, like, you got to be in some shape.
Yeah.
Your conditioning has to be
physically and mentally.
Yes, your conditioning has to be, top tier because of the usage that you're utilizing, and just how much it's really taken out of you, man. Them playoff minutes of 40 minutes is totally different than 40 minutes in a regular season game. And I want to say
this: you as the go-to guy, star player, you're beating a player and a half every play. It's always going to be that guy that's putting, half a body there to make sure they get to, obviously, their guy, but you're always beating, it's not one-on-one. You're beating a player and a half or better every time as a star player, particularly in the playoffs, which is what I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to see because I can't remember back we might have because of our confidence and swagger as young guys, but I'm sure it was bulletin board material on us being excited about playing the Knicks.
Yeah.
So, and some of it, they didn't need material. The obvious was the obvious.
Right.
These young boys swept us in the playoffs. We don't want them thinking that.
Right.
So the reason I'm saying that is now we talk about someone like the Spurs who are playing great basketball. They're going to probably get to their 60 wins like they want to. They've gotten to their 60 wins, so now they're feeling confident about the success they had against OKC. But OKC is now, experience has been there. They have a roster full of guys that has been to the mountaintop, not just in the playoffs, played a couple games. They've won a championship. So I think for Wemby, one, how he's going to see defenses or be guarded. I mean, throughout the playoffs, but I'm just talking about particularly OKC. And I feel like they're going to be more physical with him. They're going to make him use his left hand and just do things that, yes, he's been able to do freely in the regular season, but it's different. Now the pressure is on, like you said before, Castle, Harper. The list goes on. Everyone. De'Aaron Fox, who's been there. Cornette, who's been there, but
yes.
You know,
expectations are different.
And I think OKC's going to say, hey, okay.
Expectations
y'all are
going to
have to win it now.
Way different.
Yeah.
This championship with you now. Fox, this was never with you. Cornette, you won a chip with the Celtics, but you have a bigger role, right? And then the young guys, man, Keldon Johnson and Castle, Vassell, Harper, this is all relatively new to these guys. So for them, it's really about leaning on Harrison Barnes because he's won a championship with Golden State. Leaning on him.
And Cornette, too.
I said Cornette.
Yeah.
Leaning on Harrison Barnes and really trying to get, like, what this is really about. Because, yeah, we're 4-1 against OKC, and more than likely we're going to see these guys again.
But what do we always say? What would you tell your guys? That don't regular season success doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a new ball game. They're going to find that out. That's my hesitancy about San Antonio coming out of the West because they haven't really been through it. They got to go through it. And I just think Wemby is going to see a difference in how he's being guarded. If you watch the Denver game the other night, you watch Aaron Gordon, how he just really got up on him and roughed him up a little bit. He's going to see that. And in the playoffs, you know, they're going to allow a little bit more physicality. You're going to have to play through that. And oftentimes when I watch Wemby and they're physical with him, he tries to drive it, he loses the ball. Because
and I think one thing, I know we've talked about it, but I'll say it out loud. The one thing about Wemby that we've seen all season, me particularly, is that he's great. He's been killing, but he plays so straight up. And when he sees physicality, now he gets knocked off his point of attack.
Yeah.
And he has to go a roundabout or a different path as opposed to the path that he wants to. And obviously defensive players, you know this, you want to knock them off the path to make them figure out another way.
Sure.
That's the easiest way. He's 7'4" plus. So you have to be physical with him. You have to push him around because if I let you get a straight line, bro, I'm not stopping you once you get. So that's what he's going to see often.
He's going to see it all the time.
I feel like if he plays more in a athletic, crouched, lower position, he's not locked off his block a little bit as much.
Yeah.
And now he gets to anything he wants because you can't push him around.
Right. Yeah, he's gonna figure that out.
Which is scary.
I know.
Just think about this whole crew's gonna go through
growing pains
this year.
They're gonna go through some growing pains. He's gonna learn, and when he comes back next year, he's gonna be probably 10, 15 pounds heavier, stronger, and smarter. And it's gonna be a problem for them.
And who does that remind you of? Like what OKC was a couple of years ago.
I saw that individual. I thought you were talking about like Giannis, but
okay.
OKC,
but I'm saying
for sure.
OKC, as a team, they went through it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now we're prepared for it.
We need this. We need this. We need it. We need it. We need it. And I'm glad it's here. And then you look at a team like Charlotte. You know, those are some guys that this is going to be their first playoff experience. I'm not looking for them to win a playoff series by any means this year. But I do think whoever they face in the first round, those young boys don't know what to expect, but they're going to go out and they're going to play hard.
Imagine a home where your Wi-Fi just works. Can you imagine that?
You mean streaming even with the whole family online? Multiple devices? Yeah, I can imagine that.
Thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Your guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need it the most. We're talking next level experiences, fast connections, and the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi so you don't miss a play. Like right before a game winner.
Plus, you even get incredible gaming speeds and no one battling for bandwidth.
Most importantly, you get the ultimate fan experience. No contracts, no commitments, and everything you need included, all with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Restrictions apply. Select plans only. Xfinity Internet is powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Most reliable claim based on Opensignal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Report, May 2025, XB6+.
Hey, Cuzzo, did you know that the average employer has to sort through roughly 250 resumes per job opening? Man, that's a full-time job on its own.
Well, cuz, if you're hiring, I got good news for you. You can now review all these resumes and applications faster thanks to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter has a new feature that instantly shows you the most interested, qualified candidates first. And today, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/cousins.
With ZipRecruiter's new feature, all-star candidates who are very interested in your job show up at the top of your list. So it's no surprise that ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2.
Cut through the standard and get the standouts with ZipRecruiter.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/cousins.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/cousins.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Do you think, and this can be for both teams, do you think with how Charlotte and San Antonio has played all season, you think if they stick to the script, meaning play who they are, be true to who they are, and not change it because of, they can have some success? Because, you know, some teams, when you get to the playoffs or whatever, I think about when my junior year in high school, we're killing, doing our thing, and all of a sudden we changed the way we played.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been winning, we were undefeated damn near all year, and then changed the way we played in the playoffs, and we go and lose. But the following year, we say, no, we stick it to the script, we win the championship. So I wonder, do you feel like Charlotte is good enough to win a series if they stick to the script? Same with the Spurs.
With Charlotte, whether they stick to the script, they change it up, I don't think they are good enough to win a series.
Because of where they're
going to be seeded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're going to face Detroit or they're going to face Boston. Okay. Either one of those teams, I don't think they're good enough to beat them. However, I think they will push them to the brink.
Mm-hmm.
But playing their style, I think they will play their style.
Does that change if they're 6 seed? They possibly can win.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just those two, the first two teams, top two teams. I don't think they can win it.
Okay.
San Antonio, on the other hand, I think they just going to stick with the script, right? Because you had success playing the way you've been playing, featuring Wemby and everybody else. You know who your closer is. Sometimes it's Wemby, sometimes it's Fox. But you have the X factor. You have him. That's Wemby. Defensively, he's going to control you defensively.
Because if they can guard,
and they're going to guard
and get out in transition,
they're going to guard. They
don't have to play against a set defense all the time.
That
opens things up for Wemby.
The thing is like, how are y'all going to figure out how to move Wemby out of that paint? Get him out of there. How are you going to strategize to keep him away from the basket? Because I always talk about this. If he guarding a non-shooter,
it's going to be a long night.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to score, a lot of points because he's just going to sag off. He's going to be a roamer.
But you mentioned how Denver played or took advantage of his help side defense. Once he goes, I'm going right behind you.
Yeah.
And now he's hesitant. Now you got him thinking. So that's the neutralizer. But can every team do that, though?
No.
Is the question.
No.
Because everybody's doesn't have Aaron Gordon that he's guarding.
No.
And Jokic is not. That's a primary ball handler.
And then he's not guarding a Jokic.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Hey, that second half in overtime,
what about it?
Oh, Jokic, man.
What about it?
He just really showed you why he's the best player in the league. Offensively, he's just so smart. You know what I mean? Like, he knows how to create the space. He's more of, I'm gonna beat you with skills, but I'm also beat you with my mind. And he's such a cerebral, basketball player that can't jump a leg, but leans on you, creates a space, whether it's left shoulder, right shoulder, the unorthodox fading back, one leg shots. Like, Bro, what you gonna do with that? If I'm making that shot over Wemby, you can't guard this. You can't guard this. So, so that combination of him and Jamal Murray, teams are better figure that out because they don't figure it out, them two. And then you got Tim Hardaway Jr. over there making shots. You got Aaron Gordon, you got Cam Johnson, you got Peyton Watson, and then you got Christian Brown, and you got Bruce. Bro, they loaded. I cannot, and we got the Western Conference, NBC, we got the Western Conference Final. I cannot wait to have this opportunity to call these games, man, because this is going to be high-level basketball, and we're going to be in the building.
Can't wait.
I don't care if it's OKC in San Antonio. I don't care if it's OKC in Denver. I don't care if it's San Antonio and Denver. It's just got to be those three teams right there. It's got to be those three teams. That's what I want to see.
Cuzzo, let me put you onto something I've been seeing more and more lately. It's called RK Zero Proof, and it's basically a way to enjoy the taste and feel of your favorite cocktails without any alcohol at all.
I'm talking zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, but somehow it still gives you that same burn and experience you expect from a real drink.
They've got everything from whiskey and vodka to rum and tequila alternatives, so you can still have your go-to drink just without the downside.
Whether you're cutting back, staying sharp, you just don't feel like drinking, but still want that experience, this is definitely something worth checking out.
Go to rkzeroproof.com and see what they've got.
All right, Cuzzo, it's time to pick a side. This is our sponsor segment by FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. And today, our betting line, will the Warriors beat the Clippers in the play-in tournament tonight? Cuzzo, let the people know, who do you have? What side are you picking?
I'm back and forth with this because Kawhi has been fantastic coming out of All-Star break. He was great in the All-Star game. I think he found his stride, found his game. Well, I don't want to say found his game, but he hit another level, and he's continued to play that way. The Clippers, are the Clippers. So I think sometimes it's just, yes, Kawhi's doing what he's doing, but who else is joining the fight? On the other side, Curry coming back. We heard minutes restriction. Porzingis and Al Horford, they're champions. They're proven. They've been in the fight. 2 games to win. I'm going to go. I'm still going to pick the Warriors, just for experience more so. I mean, the question will be, I'm picking them, but the question will be, who will be that other guy? Podziemski. This is going to be his moment. I mean, he's had a lot of opportunities to be the guy to be a scorer, but who's going to pick up the scoring load to give Steph another guy on the perimeter? Now, Porzingis is very capable of going off and being a factor and opening the floor up to make the game easy for everyone else, but he has to hit shots. With all that being said, I'm still going to stick with the Warriors.
I like that answer because of the veterans on that team. These guys are proven winners. They have a bunch of them. And you just can't count Steph Curry out, given that he's back, he's healthy, he's moving well. He looked pretty damn good against the Rockets the other night.
Slow start, but once he got going.
Slow start, but, once he gets it going, it's tough to put that fire out. They have to win 2 games to get there. So they're very well capable. For me, I'm just going to go with a younger team led by Kawhi Leonard. I just think Kawhi has just been playing at an all-NBA team. I think he's definitely top 10 this year, so he should make that second team.
I got to ask you.
And then somebody like Ben Mathurin, I think, having an opportunity, to make a name for herself away from Indiana. I think he's, a guy that really can help in the scoring department with the Clippers coming off their bench. I think the energy and just his ways of being able to score the ball, and then he competes on the defensive end as well too. So,
but he has NBA Finals experience, so he understands what it takes. And that was going to be the question I asked you: who is the guy that you feel will help this Clippers team get over the hump outside of Kawhi Leonard? And so I'm assuming Ben Mathurin.
Yeah, Ben.
is that guy.
That's why I said Ben, because I just think he's a guy that's not scared of the moments. Right? He strikes me as that guy that really, thrive in these type of moments. So I look for him to have a big game. I'm going with the young Clippers, man, led by Kawhi Leonard. So that's who I'm rolling with to win this game.
There you have it, folks. You pick a side on the FanDuel app. Tell us what you think. You see, I'm picking the Warriors. Mac is picking the Clippers. So you tell us what you think. Go pick a side. You wanted to touch on this topic about 34 and older club of guys who are playing well and killing it right now.
Yeah. So when you look at, because I was having this conversation with my brother. I was like, bro, look how the old cats are just, the times have changed. The old dudes are hooping right now, putting up crazy numbers.
They're
still
not ready to give up their seat.
They're not ready to give it up. They still are the best players in the game, some of them. And when you look at, our era and the guys that were the primary guys, when you were on the back end of your career, you was coming off the bench and you was a role player. And that stunted, who you are, because maybe you sustained an injury. Maybe you just flat out sucked. You wasn't any good no more, and teams kept you around. But I truly believe these guys are putting up these numbers because they still are the primary guys, right? They still have the ball in their hands. They didn't go to a role. KD ain't changed his role. Kawhi hasn't changed his role. PG hasn't changed his role. Bron finally has, changed his role in the last couple of years,
21.
and he's right. But James Harden, when you have the ball in your hands in the NBA, you're still gonna put up numbers. It's not like you lost your game. No, you still have the ball, and you probably slowed down a little bit, but you still know how to play the game. And I think with myself, I got injured. I had to go to another role. I couldn't play that role. I had guys way better than me in front of me. So, and with yourself, we got older, our role changed, and the ball was out of our hands, and we had to find
ways to be effective.
We had to find a way to.
Steph Curry's the other guy that you left off the.
Steph Curry.
And I wanted, for context, Kawhi Leonard averaging 28 at 34. 35-year-old Paul George, who's lately been playing well, put up his averaging 26 in his last 6 games. James Harden, 36 years old, 24 points a game. 8 assists also. Let me add that for him. 37-year-old KD is averaging 26. Steph Curry at 38, averaging 27. And LeBron, 41, averaging 21, 6 rebounds.
And none of those guys' roles have changed. They all have the ball.
Steph Curry missed 2 months. 2 months.
Comes back.
29.
And second half just went nuts.
I mean, typically just finding your shot, sea legs that we like to talk about, just in your wind. I mean, I see zero problem. Early, just trying to get acclimated. But when he hit the 3 on 2 guys off the pick, I was like, uh-oh.
That was.
And see, a guy like him, when he makes that shot.
That's over. Oh. He think he's going to make.
Every one of them.
Every one of them from everywhere on the court. Now you really got to get up on him and force the ball out of his hands, or you got to make sure you contest every single shot, because any breathing room to where he get that ball off, that's not a good look. You don't want him to get a good look when he's making shots like that one he hit on them 2 guys coming off that pick and roll at the top of the key.
You know what we got to do? We have to do a breakdown of Steph Curry and how he's guarded as opposed to any other player, not even point guards, just to show I'd love for you to kind of break down guarding him, as opposed to guys that you guarded, back in our day, primary, because Steph Curry comes over half court. You're not running to the paint like we used to say and then work your way out. You stopping at the 3-point line and working your way out. So we definitely got to do a video breakdown.
Yeah, so guarding Steph, because I'm not saying I am Steph, but I did run off screens a lot when I played like Steph. Not as much, but I did run off screens and can catch and shoot. So with him and how you guard him, obviously you got to meet him at the 3-point line, and it's being physical. And then you want to send him, and this is all through game plan and you talking to your teammates. You want to send him a particular way, and I don't know what way that is. I'm just saying you want to send him
to some help.
Send him to some help. But Steph is banking on, and the Golden State is banking on, you're going to make a mistake, right? You're going to make a mistake.
And typically it's not early in the shot clock. It's later in the shot clock.
I don't care. I could run off this way, and I could run back the other way. You're going to make a mistake, and that's what I always, really banking on my guy. If I'm going to run off this screen, I know you're going to make a mistake. You might not make it in the first quarter, but at some point, you're going to try to shoot the gap.
You're familiar with the play.
Because you're familiar with the play, and you're going to try to shoot the gap. Well, in my mind, I already know if you're shooting the gap, I already know where I'm going. And my, who passing the ball, which is Draymond, he knows where that ball needs to go. So that's how they play. They capitalize off of you making a mistake. You stick to your game plan, locking and trailing. And when you locking and trailing, hopefully your big is stepping out to give you some help, and you got some help on the weak side because that big might slip out of there, and Draymond might hit him with that pass. So, you got to be on a string, defense on a string, when you playing against Golden State. It can't be, or playing against Steph Curry, it can't be no shortcuts. Whatever that game plan is, make sure if it's lock and trail, lock and trail. Do not shoot no gap. Stay connected with him. And that's how you got to play him, bro, because, again, it's so much running. Mentally, you're going to get fatigued, and Steph is going to know that. He knows, you tired. You're going to make a mistake.
You tired of chasing me.
And that's what typically happens. Guys get physically and mentally fatigued or running like that, and you're bound to make a mistake because you're going to get tired before he does.
Yeah. And the one thing I think we're going to see from these 6 guys in the playoffs is their patience and their understanding of what the playoffs are like for superstar players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a difference. I mean, you have a team. Yeah, it's great. We could take, Oklahoma City as a team, but that's when star players made their moments because they understand how to navigate through a playoff game, a playoff series, and a game 7.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can give it all you have, but you have to be able, it's also how you navigate for your team to be in those situations to win. It's not always, you didn't score enough points. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I had 37 and I needed 45. Okay, cool. But I have to be able to get my guys there. You're going to see that from these guys, and you're going to see them step up to another level, which is crazy to say with the numbers I told you, the averages that they're putting up right now. So, like you said, I can't wait to see the playoffs, but it's also great to see guys in their mid to late 30s, one in their 40s, a few going to be in their 40s in this league, go out there and still dominate the game. And it's just going to show you, we're going to see all this young energy, but that don't mean you know how to play.
Right.
You don't know how to play and navigate the game. So I'm looking forward to that.
Xfinity Court Connections is brought to you by Xfinity. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. So, Cuzzo, because we are talking about the playoffs, who you had good chemistry with in the playoffs? Or who'd you like going to war with, the battles in the playoffs that you played in?
So I'm gonna pick one kid. So we saw him a couple of nights ago in Dallas. J Kidd was one of those.
I knew
guys.
that was the answer. It better have been the answer.
That was one of the guys that was I'd been through the playoffs in Toronto for so many years, and got to kind of see now a legendary point guard. Not that I didn't play with some legends. I think Mark Jackson is a legendary point guard that I got the chance to play with.
Yes, sir.
But got to see J Kidd operate in the playoffs, because prior to me getting there, he had just come off the finals. And hearing everything that was said about him as a point guard, how he thought, how he went about things, and he wasn't a vocal leader, he led by example.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to Jersey, we were not in the playoffs at the time. We had to play our way back into that contention, and just watching him play. And I knew what needed to be done, but now I got to see somebody else do it and how they went about it.
Yeah.
And now I had another guy who's seasoned, been there, and I'm talking about playing the finals, not just that somewhere I was trying to get to. I had missed the shot, so now I'm like, okay. And then we got RJ who's been there. So it was just watching him go through like game plans, watching him playing the game, particularly watching him adjust to plays that we run and seeing how teams play. And he'll just come to you he'll come up to you and be like, instead of go here, go this way. Or stop.
That boy running the football plays.
He running the football play for real. No lie.
He was the dude that had pick.
It was great. At first, it was crazy. I was like, okay. Man. Because I'll never forget, J Kidd told me, and I think this was regular season first, teams who fronted in the post. He said, just let him front. Stay there. I'm going to throw it off the backboard. And you just go get it. And I was like,
easy work. Yeah.
That is genius. Because he's already front you, so he can't get to that.
There's nobody back there.
And he's like, I'm just going to throw it high. It's going to come off soft. You just catching a dunk. And I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guards, if y'all need that. But it was just little things like that. Or in the game, he's like, he's going to chase you. Just run and stop. And once you stop, he hit you, then go. And I'm going to bounce it. It'll already be there. That's why some of the crazy shots I shoot is because of him. I'm coming off. The ball already there. I just pick it up and just keep going. I ain't have to gather.
I was so jealous of you when you played with him.
It's unbelievable.
Nah, he's so good. It's unreal.
Yeah,
how good
it's just the way he thinks, and watching him, do some of the things that he's done as a coach just to get an advantage. Like I see it, and I know what he's thinking because I got to experience it twice. Also in Dallas. So that was a treat.
Yeah,
that was a treat. What about you?
Mine was Yao. The little playoff, times that I had. It was Yao. I think our first playoffs experience we went up against Dallas. I think this Yao's third year in the league. He came in 2002. Yeah, it was like his third year in the league. And I found out how good he really was in the playoffs. Because, that season is, like we talked about earlier, it's a little bit more physical, a little bit more grueling on the body. And when you going up against a team that has bigs, Eric Dampier, Sean Bradley, like they had some big guys that he had to deal with to throw at him. And he held his own as a young player. And I felt like watching him in that series, I was super excited about what our future was going to be because I seen the growth and the maturity. And I knew he was a player that I had to switch my game up and kind of, dial it back a little bit because, I'm coming from leading the league and scoring 2 years in a row. So my whole game is changed a little bit because now I'm playing with a big man. So I got to go in. I'm playing inside out because that's how Jeff Van Gundy wanted to play. And the first year was a struggle trying to, figure out how to play with the big fella. But once we got it, I was like, oh, okay. I see what he could do. Now he can knock down the little 15-footer. He's shooting 80-something from the line, got a soft touch. He got the, the nice jump hook. He was starting to come along. Still, learning the game and growing, but I was like, he's going to be a problem. We couldn't stay healthy, man. I think we only played, 2 playoff series together? And I was there for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so we played.
And how many years were y'all together?
6 years.
So all 6?
Yeah, 6 years. So
wow.
We played Dallas, and then we faced Utah 1 year. We lost to them in 7 games. It was a 4-5 seed. And then the next year we played Utah again, and that's when he was hurt. And then the next year, I'm hurt. and they played Portland. So it was just like, you know, it was me, it was him. It was just we couldn't get right. But our chemistry when we was on that court, when we did play, it was magnificent.
All right, Cuzzo, it's time to raise your glass to who raised you. Our K0 proof delivers the taste, aroma, and even the burn of real spirits without alcohol, sugar, or carbs.
You know who raised me, man? It's not a person, actually. It's my city courts. Auburndale City Courts, dog. Man, I know my boys back home gonna love this segment right here, man. So our city courts is legendary. You came through Auburndale, we hooped every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Sunday afternoon. Like, that was our hooping days. And any and everybody that played basketball, whether you played high school basketball, you went off to college and you came back home, everybody played on these courts. When I was younger, we used to play full court. But, you know, dudes in Polk County don't know how to act, fighting all the time. You know how it is, man, fighting all the time. So what they ended up doing is they divided the courts. They put a barricade or something in the middle, so we couldn't play full court no more. So now it's just strictly half court basketball. I never knew how important this would be for me playing half court basketball. Full court, you know, you can get into it and, you know, get out on the break. Dudes get lazy. You get your little fast break and go dunk. You get a lot of that and pick up basketball because guys is tired, it's hot. Pick up half court.
Different breed.
Is a different beast. There's no hiding. There's not enough room. And there's 4 players out there because, that's where I grew up. I grew up.
Sure, I feel like half court basketball, that's how fights start more so than
yes,
full
sir.
court.
Yeah, but yes, sir. Right. Yeah. I seen dudes go to the trunk, man. So my cousins, family, and just all my boys, man, that's where we grew up. That was like our sanctuary. That's where we all met. That's why I really knew how to, you know, deal with a lot of shit talking. Just seeing the older guys and playing with them and growing up and, you know, getting really belt to ass as a young age and learning how to lose and overcome, you know, all the things that you got to deal with. And they didn't take it lightly on me. And I had to go through that. And, you know, looking back on it, man, I needed every last bit of the trash talking, the disrespect, like everything that was thrown at me and everything that I experienced that out there as a kid helped me grow. And so I'll say shout out to the Auburndale City Courts because that's what, you know, helped me grow into the player that I became because you couldn't be no punk, you couldn't be soft, or you couldn't play. And I was one of the dudes, man, I look forward to those games. Look forward to it so much so even when I got into the NBA on a Sunday, me and I drove Mike Miller. Hey, Mike, come hoop with me, bro. I took him down there to my city courts. When I'm in the NBA, that's how much I love being home and playing on my city courts, man. So shout out to Kel, shout out to Mike Miller for blessing the city courts, man, and all my boys back home at Auburndale. Y'all know what it is.
Quick shout out. All right, so I'm gonna pick a player. He was actually both of our teammates in Toronto.
Muggs.
Nope. I'm going to go Dell Curry.
Gomez.
And here's why. I sat and thought about this when we're doing the segment. And the reason I'm picking him is because I was able to score. I was athletic and all of these things. But watching Dell Curry shoot the ball, number one, was fascinating. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And 2, how he created space because he wasn't athletic.
Wasn't
quick, fast.
No.
But man, he was just crafty. And I remember his ball fake to one dribble, sidestep to shoot a 3. I used to struggle with it, and he's like, man, if you get this with your abilities and you being a go-to guy scoring, you will become next level because you're going to open everything up. And lo and behold, particularly the back end of my career, I always remembered that. But I used to watch with him and shoot with him to get better, because if I can somewhat compete with him shooting, I'll be okay later on. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
And we had the luxury of veterans everywhere in that locker room, and I'm hoping I highlight each and every one of those guys, but it's Dell, because I finished my career in the top 5 of three-point shooting. And yes, I had other shooting coaches along the way. Shout out to all of you. But the one shooting coach that I had was Dell Curry. And just mentality, what to look for, how to get shots off. Like that. I mean, I learned how to do that shooting on the move, because that wasn't a popular thing. Moving, switching spots, pump fake it was a pump fake dribble getting to your pull up. His was a sidestep to 3, and it was so effective, and that's what made him him. At that time in our careers, there were guys who were specialists. You specialized in something on the team. That's what he did. And I didn't appreciate it for a very long time until teams was trying to take stuff away or learning how to set up plays to get to everything else I wanted to. So shout out to Dell Curry for that, for being the vet, for being our OG, looking out for us. But I also want to show some love and congratulations to you, man, for getting your jersey retired.
Yes, sir.
Because I tell you what, man, some people don't know who you are. They just know you as the guy that has 2 kids in the NBA. But man, what you've done for the city of Charlotte is far beyond words, and much appreciation, because man, you've been there for a long time and you've stayed there, and you now do TV for them, and you deserve everything, my man.
Shout out to Gomez.
Shout out to you,
Dell Curry,
the original number 30. All right, Cuzzo, that's a wrap. I said my piece, you said your piece. Talk to the people.
Y'all know what it is. Go subscribe, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on social, please, at Vince and T Mac. I told you guys, we're going to bring one of you fans in here and sit right over here and have a conversation with us. I told you, we're family. We're family. We're cousins. You tuning in, you're part of our family. So, cuz, when you going to come and bless us? Come on, cuz.
Come on over, cuz. But in the meantime, in between time, that's a wrap.
Peace.